Hello, hello, and welcome back. We're here for the Rally Cry halftime show. Game number 1 between Disguise and Maryville. We're going to talk on it a little bit before we get into what I have prepared for us. But looking at that game, I mean, Beatdown, you had it succinctly said. It was early game dominated by Maryville, the 1 TP play that kind of ruined it all. And you can even see from the gold graph that pretty much after that play, the nosedive where DSG are like, oh yeah, we have the scaling.
Wow.
Yeah,
when you visualize it like that.
Maryville were on borrowed time ever since that play ended up happening. Props to them for continuously looking for whatever play, whatever engage they can. A couple of them looked solid, close, almost even, but with their comp, it was just not going to happen.
No.
I think, honestly, it can come down to 2 plays as well. That play was the bigger one.
Yeah.
But the final play where maybe they had a chance to set something up was when DSG basically got a Baron for free.
Yeah.
That was rough. And it's arguable at that point the game was already lost. Like, that was when this dip had already happened. But that was like the other identifiable moment. It's like, maybe if MU had the confidence to go forward or go for something bigger. Also, wow, Maokai has the most damage. Built mostly tank, by the way.
Tanks are very balanced, Kangas. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you know what?
Why would you even bring that up?
It also helps when you throw saplings, and as you talked about with the Baron play, there was no fight, so all the damage was just coming from saplings all over the place. So, Tomio getting a lot of control. The fact that he also had a 94%,
KP.
yeah, exactly. That's really impressive for someone who started off the game kind of behind from that the weird dive that happened bot lane, where somehow he's like, I'm farming Krugs, but then dies to first blood.
Yeah, that was a little bit of an awkward play. But overall, this has been a solid game there from Tomio. I mean, he's a player we've been watching for these last couple of years and hasn't quite, with the exception of playoffs last split, really shown us what we like to dub the Tomio that was promised. So this is a good start for this team, but he's another one I have my eyes on to see whether or not this team will actually become more consistent as time goes on.
All right. So, with that out of the way, why don't we get into our Rally Cry halftime show and what I have prepared. I just have a couple questions to help exemplify what had happened in the game that I'm going to ask you to, and it's actually going to be about what happened in the game. And not exactly what happened, but items that were bought in the game. I have clues behind me here that I will give you if you get the first part of the questions correct. So, are you ready?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Let's go for it.
right.
I'm in. I gotta beat Beatdown this time because he,
I don't know if
as
he will.
you said,
I could tell you
crushed
most of
me.
the items.
It was a 1-point differential in the last game.
All right.
Never mind.
So, let's go with the first one. But Beat still won. It doesn't matter if you win by 1 point or 10,000 points. A win's a win. So Beat still wins. All right. And question number 1. Who was the last person to complete their first item that's not a support?
It's not a support.
You got me
Who was
there.
the first one?
I know, because obviously you were gonna. That's why I had to make sure not supports. But of the other 4 players, Tomio. So you think it was Tomio?
I don't think it was Tomio.
think it was
Well,
Not support.
no, I think it was Niles. I'm pretty sure I remember seeing Niles have his locked in.
Last.
War Drinker came in very early.
That's what I'm saying.
yeah,
but
we're
this is
saying last.
Last.
Oh, I thought you said
No,
first. Wow.
last,
Okay, apparently I don't
last.
have eyes or ears.
Yeah.
Damn.
We're learning a lot about my abilities.
Yeah,
this
because you would be
broadcast.
right. That's why I made sure it wasn't the first one, because it would have been Niles.
Pretty easy.
Who was it? How much time do I have? Can I just keep thinking?
Like 10 seconds.
10 seconds? All
No
right, let's just
pressure.
go with one then. I'm going to go with Meech.
Meech. Well, neither of you get the point correct.
Was it Fake God?
No, it was Get Back. It was Get Back.
Oh.
So you guys don't get the clue that's on here. So you have to now guess what the item was.
Rocky Belt.
Good.
I got it first.
I will
I got it
show it
first.
because I did draw it. So
Oh, nice.
Ah,
yeah, I
not
did
bad.
draw-
Not bad.
Not bad. So it was the Rocket Belt that was completed.
Also, can we talk about how does Rocket Belt work? Like, what is happening on the belts that propels the champion forward? And
So
then
here's
sprays
my
out?
guess.
It's like a
Here's my
backpack.
guess. No, for me,
It's a
it's
belt.
a
It's called
belt.
a belt.
It's a
Well,
belt.
it could be like a belt on your butt.
No, guys, hear me out. Hear me out. I have the explanation.
visual.
It's a belt, but the rockets are actually pointed perpendicular to your body, so they propel
Oh,
you
so it's
forward
like-
as you move.
So it's like I'm like this, and they're like
Yeah,
point it
yeah,
that way,
exactly,
and it goes
exactly.
whoosh.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Got
it's still it's a weird visual, but okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to
It's okay.
get us off topic.
I actually like that question. That was a good question. You know what? I'll give you a bonus point for that one, Steve. Since
What the hell?
yeah, Steve gets a bonus point for this one.
And
Beat.
I got it before you.
He needs the
I
help.
prefer at least for
He
my
needs the
maybe
help.
Doesn't
audio
need the help. So let's get into our next question. So, who was the first person to build their third item first? So essentially, it's the last item that anyone would build because the game ended before anyone could get full build.
I think that sentence gave me whiplash.
Yeah, I
the
don't
first-
know,
The
man.
first person to build their third item.
Meech.
Yes.
I'm gonna say
Probably Young.
no. I don't think it was Young.
Well, Young had a very cheap first item because the mythic crowns of
This
like
should
the
give you a
cheapest
hint
mythics.
that it is on this side of the board, behind DSG. So
Yeah,
it has,
I mean it has to be. I don't think
Yeah.
anybody even.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's either. You said the
I'm
first
gonna
person to
go
build 3
Meech.
items.
I know Meech hit 3 items. I'll
Okay.
change back.
I'm gonna say
Changing
Young.
back. So Steve gets that point.
Okay.
It was Meech, but this is the item. Now, what is it?
Nasher's Tooth.
Nashor's Tooth. Good.
Yeah,
good job.
It was,
good
it was
job.
the Shiv into the Rage Blade into Nasher's Tooth.
Nope. Rage Blade into the Shiv. Into
No,
Nashor's
no, no,
Tooth.
no, no, no. I promise you, he built Shiv first.
I'm pretty sure it was
I
Shiv first.
promise.
Do I get? Do we give Beat down an additional point for proving the host
I'll
wrong?
give Beat an additional point because I do
Yeah.
believe you guys now that
I remember.
I thought it was
he had-
weird when I
He
saw
had
that.
static Shiv, and then he had a Rage Knife. I remember that clearly.
That's what it was. You're right. Because there's something that I saw that was weird that threw me off a little bit. You're right. He gets an extra point, so that means you're both tied. That means you're both tied, actually.
All right,
Yes.
let's go Beat down.
Comeback of the century.
All right. Well, wait. Is it a comeback if you're both tied in it now?
Oh, is it like over?
It's over. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's it.
Well, that means I am technically in the lead still because I have a win and a tie. So
You know, he does have a point there.
beat
He does have a
down,
point.
let's go beat
So if he
down.
is in the lead, but you do
One
have
more
another
game.
chance. There's going to be another Rally Cry
One more game,
halftime show.
Another
But
chance
this
to
was just a short
lose.
one. I wanted to make sure that we had some fun with this one because I wanted to use the chalkboard as well, show off my drawing skills on the chalkboard. So both of you, why don't you get us into our second game of this series between Disguise and Maryville University?
Thank you, Magical. And Beatdown, I'm just letting you know. Next Rally Cry halftime show. I'm not holding back.
I'm gonna remember that. I'm gonna clip this moment and then send it to you later
Clip it.
when I win.
Share it to your kids. Share it to your grandkids.
I
Let
don't
them
have
know
kids or grand.
the day of shame for you.
How old do you
on
think
the
I
NACL
am?
Broadcast. No, I'm saying this is gonna be like a generation.
Oh, like for later on. No, that
Yeah,
makes a lot of sense. Sure, I'll remind them of my victory. Yeah, it's something I will be proud of, actually. You're right. Good luck.
All right. Maybe Disguised players are also gonna be saving these clips for their lineage here. We'll see how they're able to close this one out. I was trying to think of the word I wanted to use there. I was like, there's a couple that I don't want to use. I think lineage
Their
is
kin?
pretty sick.
I don't know.
Their spawn. All right, continue on. Maryville versus DSG.
Yeah.
Game 2.
Remember this? Challengers League, good times.
Yeah. We're having a blast.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's highlight potential changes Maryville can have going into Game 2 because we know that they are a team that likes to play for early game. They draft for early game. They won the early game. Then there's the moments where they lose control of the game. How do we see them pivot either in picks or bans or just play style here against DSG going into Game 2?
Well, already you're seeing the Maokai taken out of the picture there. That was a little tough for them to deal with in the team fights later on. And I wouldn't be surprised if Maryville didn't go for very many change-ups here. We have seen them play more scaling compositions, but now depending on what's banned away, there's a lot of options here. The LeBlanc is what I was thinking about because Get Back, that's some pretty monster games on it. I'm trying to think of what junglers. All the really broken stuff is up. I'm really curious if the first pick is just going to end up being something like the Vi. You don't give away very much about what your draft is going to be like, and it's just a good pick for Odd Orange all around.
Yeah, Odd Orange loves that pick. I actually
He does.
wouldn't mind it if they want to go for that. Otherwise, maybe like a Rel. Oh, they're
Oh,
going
wow.
Nautilus. Okay.
So, could be a flex. Remember, mid Nautilus jungle. It's still a thing, guys. I know it's been a couple patches, but it exists. Nautilus jungle was played in LCS. I was there watching from at home. I wasn't actually. I don't live in
you were
LA.
there. Why didn't you tell
I
me?
was no. I'm not like that. But
Down just visits from Canada, doesn't hit me up.
doesn't tell anyone. I know.
believe this
I'm
guy.
sorry, Kangas. You know, it's just I can't hang out with bald people anymore. It's a health thing.
I'm telling Eric. All right. Anyway, catching up on the picks here. interesting to see the Nautilus first picked because of the fact that Rel is available. One of the reasons that Rel is arguably not first pickable is because you can counter it with things like the Alistair, but Rel, in my opinion, does very well into the Nautilus here. So I actually really like what DSG is able to pick up, getting the Rel, and now the Xayah right on top of it.
I think this is a pretty prepared pick from Maryville. I'm pretty confident it's going to go into the jungle there for Odd Orange, but we'll see. They don't have to give everything away just yet. They can start picking away some of those power picks. The Kaisa Azir, really strong for DSG, and with the Xayah taken away, Maryville want to grab that one for themselves. Oh, that's not fun. I thought it would be the Akali.
Oh, no, it's not. I thought the skin, I couldn't see the little bars flashing to show that, no, they're still hovering there right now. We'll see what Young decides to lock in here, but you are right in that Nautilus still could be flexed around. I don't know if I see it as an Odd Orange pick, but we'll see. Young actually goes back to the Akali.
Oh, he is going to play
melee mid laner.
It's fun. I'm this champ. Kind of sucks at the moment here, and Magical is reminding us, and it is true, Rel could be jungle, but like...
Keeps getting in our ear like Rel jungle. Rel
Rel jungle exists, it's pretty solid, but I'll believe it when I see it, basically, is what I'm thinking.
I'll bet you, yeah, we probably shouldn't do live bets.
No, we shouldn't, but I understand, I'm with you. I'm probably not, I'm not expecting it to be Rel jungle, so even though they did give her abilities a little more damage to monsters on this patch in particular, Riot, Bouncy really loves the idea of Red Rel jungle. I like this.
Guess so. I don't know why. I feel like she was so perfectly designed to be a support, but you know,
yeah,
it may be funny. I guess I'll give him that.
Sure. It could be.
And you know what? If it's not Keel, it'd probably be Tomio to pull out that as the jungle pick.
You're true.
Now that I think about like the personalities we have of junglers.
The real interesting thing to me, actually, we'll get to that later. I think it could be an R5, a support. But Maryville now, they're starting to ban away some junglers. DSG are doing the same, as well as Niles' Pantheon. This is very interesting because I'm wondering, Maryville, are they actually going to put this Nautilus in the jungle? It's already a tough matchup into the Rel support. So at this point, banning away something like the Vi, which is really good at skirmishing early on, kind of makes me think that's where that one is going. Either way, we do need Maryville to round out what's obviously going to be a front-to-back composition. I'm curious to see what Niall is going to pick up.
No.
Oh, yeah, see? No, it's true.
No.
It's true. It made sense. It made a little bit of sense. I got to keep it real. Because, wow. Oh my God, look, Gaze, look.
All right, we got Rel jungle, everybody.
No, look at Maryville. Look at Maryville. If they lock in the Leona, it is going to be not jungle.
I was gonna make a joke about this earlier. I was like, "What if we get Nautilus versus Rel?"
Oh, okay, it's gonna be
that's a Lee Sin.
Wow, that got what I'm gonna be. That got what I'm gonna be honest is like a placebo buff. So it is a tried and true pick for Odd Orange. So it's still something that he could be pretty comfortable playing into. You got a lot of squishy people on the side of DSG. It's fine. Yeah. It's not that bad.
And Niles? I wonder if you're able to get aggressive against the Rel in the jungle. I don't know anything about this matchup. I'm just going to be honest. Rel jungle is so new.
We're going to do a little bit of
theoretically, I could see a world where the Lee Sin invades and tries to push Tomio out of your own jungle. I can't imagine if Rel is going to be able to really fight back unless you have solo laners that can come help you out.
Yeah, that is the flaw. Like, I've talked to like Winnie and other junglers about this pick, and that it's not very good at early skirmishing, which is why I like the Lee Sin, and what I imagine is to be a pivot there, where I really did expect the Nautilus to go into the jungle, but it makes sense. You can invade Tomio. You can actually 1v1 him pretty easily here, and that's kind of what I'm expecting to see, but wow. We got a lot of spice.
Okay.
Both of these traps coming through here, and I'm just gonna talk about Maryville real quick. Early game skirmishing. You have mid lane that is pushing. I'm expecting Odd Orange to get real aggressive and evade Tomio, and you have some good teamfight tools later into the game with Niles on the electric Yordle. Pretty good.
Okay.
Solid. Okay.
I'm just gonna say it right now, Beat.
What's up?
If Concept was playing on red side, he locks in Mundo right there. Look at all the AP that's on the side.
True.
Of MU. I actually think Malphite wants to build armor to scale up properly. You're not getting a lot of value out of that into this composition, so still works as a go button. Like, it's still a tank. You're still going to have a big health bar and be a front line and be an engage tool.
Yeah.
But
that's an I hate Odd Orange pick. That's what I'm looking at right now. Odd Orange said something to him during the last game, and he's like, "Yeah, all right."
And you are still good against auto attackers because you can slow down the attack speed.
Exactly. There you go,
works against the Kai'Sa. Still, I do like this. I do like this as a pick, but funny to see some of the different champion pools that we have available. Looks like we have a game delay here before getting into the game. So that gives us more time to digest the comp. We haven't really talked about the key win conditions or the key carries and main characters of each team. So I want to take time, since we have it right now, to go through both sides. Starting with MU. Beatdown, lay it to me. How do they want to play the game, or more specifically, who's going to be the main character that we need to keep our eyes on?
Realistically, for Maryville, Scary Jerry, if we want to highlight one person, he's playing the Kai'Sa. He's had some incredible performances on the pick, and he's going to be one of the primary damage dealers in the late game. We want to talk about early on. Maryville, their gameplay is going to be getting aggressive in those early minutes. It's going to be invading. That's what I'm expecting to see against Tomio in the Rel jungle. But I'm looking towards this top side as well. I'm expecting to see that early priority for the Rift Herald, be able to continue stacking gold early on and run away with this game. They have a lot of scaling tools, and if we talk scaling, I do kind of lean towards them, especially because when I look at damage dealers on the side of DSG, look, man, Kangas, look at me real quick.
Okay.
I love Akali. She's my favorite champion to play. She's so fun. It's okay. It's not that good here. It's tough.
That's the mark of honesty. When somebody is like their main or their one trick on broadcast, I was like, no, this is bad.
This champ, like there are so many ways. I'm just picturing, like, trying to go into this composition. You have Kai'Sa, who can reposition with her ult. You're running into Nautilus. You're running into Lee Sin. You're running into Kennen. You're running into Azir. Everyone has CC in their kit. Literally take your hands off the keyboard. Like, just don't play. Literally, DSG's big thing that they're going for is that level 6 is still going to be a really big spike for this mid jungle, because Akali will have a pretty big window to this game where she can have value, but later on, it's going to be really hard. And Tomio, maybe we can talk a little bit about Rel jungle. It's an interesting one, because before she got nerfed in the jungle, because she was actually like dummy thick broken OP, she still goes AP. No, Kangas, you gotta understand, her abilities did 300% bonus damage to monsters. You couldn't outsmite her. It was disgusting. You can do it now, because now the damage to monsters is flat, but it is still an AP build coming through here. So you're actually pretty good at securing objectives, and you have some crazy all-in potential on DSG side.
So to catch up on the delay, we have under a minute now before we're in. Thankfully, there's a short delay. Oh, and look at that. We're
under
actually in.
A second, you mean?
The direct build for Rel jungle, but I guess we'll just have to learn it together instead. Game 2 for Maryville versus Disguised underway. Let us know in Twitch chat who you're rooting for, who you think is going to take it. DSG for Disguised and MU for Maryville. We'll say.
No.
Yeah, what's that? Oh, yeah, no. Go for it.
Oh, please, Kangas, go.
Okay, I was going to say, this is just my opinion.
Yeah.
I think MU's draft is much better this time around, and I actually do favor them more compared to last time. I don't think that they are hard pressured and forced to win early game, despite the fact that they have tools to do so with the Lee Sin, as they group up and get a ward down on the Raptors.
I agree with you. That's pretty much what I was saying too, where, yeah, DSG, there's going to be a little more pressure on them. Last game, they had a position where they could comfortably scale, and it only took one or two really big key moments for them to be able to turn the game back into their favor and just very comfortably outscale Maryville's composition. This time, they don't have that option. This time, there is a lot of pressure on Tomio and Young in particular, where 1, gold leads need to come their way. 2, they need to use those gold leads, and they need to do what the kids call outplay, Angus.
Is that what the kids say?
That's what the kids say. I know. Right. You know, being as old as you are, you aren't sure about these things. I'm here for you.
It's been a while since I've gone out and played, I suppose, so that would be something the kids say. I didn't need to make that joke. That was not worth it. It's fine. You know, we'll recover later.
You know, I respect that you went for it.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you just gotta remind the people.
Yeah, -1 also.
Humor. Or lack thereof. Junglers starting on opposite sides of the rift. If I'm placing bets, I'm thinking that Odd Orange is gonna go and invade this bottom side. I actually see a world where he tries to get aggressive and up in the face of Tomio rather than just going for a full clear.
Yeah, agreed. By the time he gets to his Raptors camp, he's gonna see Tomio on this and you even see him ping it out. He's going to see him on his Raptors. He's going to have that information. He actually... Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Well, he almost did it so that you'd have to hover over and check, but he walks out and exposes himself. But there is a ward in response here. So there's a good chance that you are going to see the invade come through from Odd Orange, and I'm interested in how the bot lane matchup is going to go, because you got to imagine the supports are going to want to move if this invade comes through. Oh, he just goes up.
And never fun when the junglers expose themselves. Odd Orange now heading back into the top quadrant. He's not going for that invade, as I had been predicting. I guess you can just assume that there will be a ward spotting you on your bottom camp, so that would also see you if you decide to go for anything aggressive. But that means that there will be a full clear for Tomio, where he does not interact with Lee Sin. And again, not knowing the matchup super well myself, but I'm curious if that means that we're losing the window where Lee Sin's really able to capitalize, as DSG will actually set up a dive on the bottom lane.
You got crazy
Miles
CC.
is in a position where he could teleport down, and
Wow,
he will, but they're
nice.
fully committing, and they got him! Scary Jerry down. Tomio will be traded, as Gitback's actually the one that teleported in.
That's the thing that's a little unfortunate. The slow on your move speed when you use that Ferromancy Crash now. But the CC in the kit used very well here by DSG. Tomio, we talked about it. We said DSG needs to get the ball rolling early, and he gets it done with a nice dive here, securing a kill for Meech on the Xayah. It's a good start, while Odd Orange, on the traditionally early game aggressive jungler Lee Sin, hasn't really found anything yet.
A full clear into the top scuttle. He will not be able to invade any camps, but he can jump out of Fake God here, who went up to drop a ward down flash out of the Malphite. So, you know, all things considered, 1-to-1 in kills. MU are kind of trading up here because of the fact that Odd Orange has gone for a full clear, can reset, get back onto his level 2 camps now.
Right, because of that play, I'm really interested to see if Odd Orange is going to beeline towards this bottom side, see if he can get that double crab, because he knows Tomio still has his bottom side jungles to do. And we're going to see the replay. This is one of the nice things about Rel Jungle on top of the support. So much easy CC to layer. And okay, we're back.
Zyko has to flash defensively as Azel and Meech got aggressive on him. And they do have Tomio around on the bottom side. Odd Orange is not out on the map fast enough to stop Tomio from taking that. They even get a ward down on the Raptors. They'll see when those are spawning. Tomio can actually get these. Odd Orange is hovering in this Pride Rush. And Hex Flash from Zyko. They want Zazel. He's out of there, though, and Meech gets the kill. Has Flash, will flash up towards mid lane rather than over the wall. Can Odd Orange punish this? Get back faster on the rotation. Tomio is here, but Meech is still in trouble. Shut down over to Odd Orange as Tomio looks to re-engage. Young's got to be the damage now. Backflips away, and DSG are in full retreat. Zazel's jumping around, battle dancing to his best attempt, but Tomio still claimed it. Zazel sniped with the Void Seeker.
Really nicely done there for Scary Jerry on the back half. And at first, this looks pretty good for DSG. Tomio is getting the Raptors respawn, which is actually a pretty big takeaway from the Lee Sin. But Odd Orange, I mean, one, not only does he not lose the camp, but look at what they get instead. They see the direction that they walk in. So Zyko just goes for the Hex Flash and says, oh, hey, how's it going?
The Hex Flash blind dredge line into the brush, lands directly onto DSG. And yeah, Meech, again, he doesn't flash over the wall, thinking, oh, I got Tomio over here. I can retreat over to the Rel, but yeah, Tomio and Young were not able to prevent Get Back from getting in. Maybe they can get on to Get Back now. Zyko dredge lines back in. Zazel in trouble. Young gets out of there.
Oh my gosh.
Down.
Kangas, I didn't even think about the Lee Sin interaction with the Akali too. Because the E will actually reveal you when she's in her shroud. Yeah. It's literally like, Young has got his work cut out for him. And also, I would have liked that play earlier if Young was level 6. He just ticked over now. When you have that perfect execution, it's a big turnaround in every matchup. And you're suddenly able to do so much more as a champion. But DSG biting off more than they can chew, find themselves down about 1,000 gold. And remember, this is the inverse of game 1. Disguised are the ones who need to get things going a little early on, especially now that Young has ticked over to level 6 and has his ult.
As perfect execution for a potential 1v1 for a team fight. Akali, even though it's annoying to go up against the range of an Azir, if you can outplay the shuffle, then you can actually look to potentially threaten those kills. Get Back does have the item advantage right now with Lost Chapter and the Kindle Gem completed. Yeah, more cooldown reduction, more health bar. It's going to be harder for Young to actually chew through that. And that's because of the fact Get Back got all those kills. And while it's 1,000 gold in the lead for MU, I will say that I still think DSG have potential avenues back into this as they're hitting their one-item spikes. Specifically looking... Actually, where does Akali spike? Is it one item? Is it two?
It's one. 2 is really good, but once you get the rocket belt, like I'm not even joking when I say like level 6, you actually have a lot of kill pressure on so many matchups, and especially with just the Sork shoes. But the big one is the rocket belt. That's when he's going to be able to 1v1 pretty much everyone else on the side of Maryville. And once he goes for the Shadow Flame, he'll be really strong too. Once everyone on the map, though, gets to that third item, that's when things get really hard. And that's where there's a lot of pressure on you to avoid a lot of CC, land a lot of your spells, so that you can execute people like Scary Jerry and Get Back. And we talked about it in Champ Select. You're fighting a lot of CC to get that one done, on top of the damage they have. So it's hard.
Difficult game state for DSG being behind, but they've gotten a little bit more gold in their pocket, and now they're getting a dragon uncontested. MU are not looking for the dragon stacking early, despite the fact that they have a lead in the mid lane. Bot lane is still kind of in DSG's favor, with Meech having those 2 kills from the earlier plays. So, still good on DSG to find this objective. Let's see if it's traded for the Herald at any point, as Auto Orange will actually look to get onto Fake God. Still doesn't have the flash from the earlier play. Will use the ultimate, and Auto Orange follows it up under the turret and will claim the kill.
Really nice tracking of Fake God's flash timer, because it's going to tick back to being online in like a second or two. So you get that easy angle. Niles doesn't even need to blow the ult, but blows the flash instead. Going to guarantee Rift Herald here for Maryville University.
Up a lot of CS for the top laner of MU, as they will eventually get onto this Herald. The DSG got that dragon. Now they've repositioned on the map. They look to contest this. No teleport for Fake God, though. They see that the enemy AD carry is bot lane, and they engage onto the mid laner. Get Back shuffles to safety, but now Young's onto Zyko. The support does not have an avenue to escape through. That means DSG find a kill and will get onto the Herald themselves.
A really awkward flash came through from Young. He was looking to get on top of Scary Jerry, but he still manages to get a kill. He does need gold in this matchup, and they made space. Remember, Niles has his ult.
Okay, Slicing Maelstrom pop, not getting a lot of value from that one. Meech used the Feather Storm, and now Niles in trouble.
Oh,
the recall will claim the kill there, as Tomio actually gets it for himself. Scary Jerry has joined in on the fight, though. That's why MU took this. With their AD carry, they think that they can handle it. Tomio trying to do damage.
Wow.
Meech with the Feather Recall again, as Get Back is now back to full health, has rejoined the fight in a 1v2. Now teleport coming in from Young. Flash out from Get Back. MU wanted to push for more on that play, but DSG find a way to equalize.
And this is so good. Zazel is sitting on the Eye of the Herald, which he can break because he knows that Get Back has no flash, no ult, and they really can't do anything about this one. So it should be easy for Meech to be able to pick up more gold. It's looking like they don't want to mess around, but it's Fake God actually unexpectedly picking up gold on the backswing here. And we'll see the replay. There's a really good ult there from Tomio, and you're going to see the flash that I was talking about there. He flashes, Get Back is out of the picture, but Young still able to get a much-needed kill on this Akali.
And then Scary Jerry's coming in for the fight. Ooh, I didn't even see this. Landed the Void Seeker onto Young and gets the kill onto the Akali off screen while everyone from DSG was setting up for the Herald. Niles knows AD carries here, so that's why they're going to go for this. Gets the Feather Storm out, but it's just not enough.
No, it's definitely Maryville biting off a little more than they can chew. They get some back in the backswing, but it's still a lot of gold that they gave up on top of the Rift Herald, as you can see.
Young finds himself in a 1v4 as we come back to live and is picked off. Nothing on the map for MU to get off of that pick, but one more goal in the pocket, putting the Akali further behind. And okay, as I say that, 4-0-2 for Get Back on the Azir. Yeah. This chicken's getting fed.
He's got to feel real good about himself.
Ooh. This is going to be a massive feather recall into Zyko. Ah, it doesn't even need it. Never mind. Just the autos from each are enough. Okay, so we're just picking each other at this point of the game. We're just, you get a kill, now we get a kill, now you get a kill, now we get a kill.
And Meech is just in such a good position overall compared to the rest of DSG. No one's really hit that first item spike, but at least Meech is matching Scary Jerry with the Kraken Slayer. And the long-awaited Herald has dropped. Meech will get first brick, helped set up by Niles earlier on, even though he has to share it. That does set up Meech as a big win con there for Disguise with how ahead he is.
And MU had that 900 gold lead, close to 1,000 for most of the game. Now DSG have wrestled a little bit of that back into their favor. Specifically, Meech with this Kraken Slayer 4-1-1 is answering Get Back with the 4-0-2. I'm wondering who's ahead in gold right now between those two. I'd love it if production could highlight that here. What do you bet, Beatdown? Who's got more gold right now?
Most gold? It's too late.
Oh,
I knew
it's Meech.
I would have said Meech or Get Back, so you know, easy to say now that I've seen it. But it is Meech, like you said, most in the game about to crest over 6,000. Get Back on the Azir, who's 4-0-2, being caught up makes sense. It's mostly Maryville on the top side here, where Fake God is doing a little bit of skirmishing in that top 4 spot. So it does mean that you still have a lot of setup with the rest of DSG's comp for this Xayah, and you hope that Young is going to be able to pick someone off in the backline while nobody is looking at him.
The gold lead is kind of Zeyzal over Zyko right now, funnily enough. As that was 800 for the supports. But Meech, of course, having the most gold for the carries. Well more than Scary Jerry so far. But Get Back keeping, of course, MU in the conversation there. Dragons up. It's started by DSG to be Disguised second dragon of the game. And yet again, it looks like MU will not contest them.
Nope. Instead, Maryville's going to go for an invade. Steal away what camps they can get on the top side. As we're starting to see first items come through on many members. The only one lagging behind that's not a support is Young. He's getting closer and closer to that rocket belt. So DSG, we talk about them needing a lead early on. They've gotten that. And when you're a team that tends to get outscaled, you want to play for the Dragon Soul. They're halfway towards that too. So even though it's been scrappy and they're behind in kills, Kangas, I would say DSG, they're on their way to what we set them up for in the earlier stages of the game. They're 2 more dragons and they get this Ocean Soul, and they still have this Xayah, who is super fed as well.
Back throwing up some emote spam here. As the lane assignments have pivoted, the bot laners are now mid, the mid laners are now bot. Top laners are still where they started the game. Fake Out has opted for more armor in the initial build with the Sunfire completed. That's probably the only armor you're going to get. I mean, it does help you with the wave clear as well.
I think that's why he did it, yeah.
Yeah, the damage, I'm expecting full magic resist after this. Although, as I say that, Scary Jerry is going for a very physical build for now.
Right, so, I mean, a good bit, like Kai'Sa still does hybrid damage, but I still think Force of Nature is probably the build for that second item. We'll see what he goes for at the moment. Meech and Zeyzal hovering close together around this mid lane. Really not very...
Scary.
Oh, wait.
Jerry charmed up. The Feather Recall does not land onto him, though, as he does use the ultimate to reposition. Ghost as well. Still holds the flash.
Yeah, big deal. Loses a bit of health. He will get this wave in. It does mean that... Oh, hold on. Might have to use his flash.
Dive as well. Oh, Scary Jerry. They're just using everything for you, man. Does flash away this time. He's still alive. No way. Tomio tank a couple turret shots. Teleport from Get Back means that Tomio's going down. Niles gets that one. Odd orange flashes past the Battle Dance or Grand Entrance. And Meech has to use heal to get away along with the Feather Storm. ESG go for a very aggressive dive and are punished.
They do. They lose Meech's ult. They lose Tomio's life. And it's going to be the Rift Herald going over to Maryville. So this is their way of picking up more gold and turning the tides back in their favor again. DSG, they're here. They want to hover, but with no jungle, you're not serious.
Ooh, Zeyzal.
Oh.
He's going to want that one back as the Dredge line will pull him into the team. And oh, no. Even the Observer's getting in on the fun there.
I mean, that was pretty bad. They're right to do so.
And no one from the team was around the area, so it's just opportunistic to get wards down, I suppose, but punished for that.
Punished heavily. As now we're seeing that gold swing come through. Young has finally picked up his first item, Kangas. Rocket Belt, so 80 carries. Mid laners beware. This Akali hurts people. For the next 10 minutes.
Little late.
It is, 17-minute mythic item. I can't say I haven't been there. I can't say it doesn't feel terrible. I don't actually have a follow-up. That's just it.
Love it. That's it. You're up against the Azir with almost the Nash's Tooth completed.
Pretty close.
And okay, now Nash's Tooth completed along with the crown.
Well,
so,
okay. A whole
you're not
item
really
behind.
gonna damage him. You're not really gonna be able to blow him up. And you're also gonna have to deal with a Nautilus ulting you, a Lee Sin slowing you, a Kennen on top of you. There's a lot of problems for Young in this game. So I'm looking at Meech to be DSG's savior.
There you go.
The Zaya's got to be the one to do the carrying.
Right, and I like the Gale Force as well here for Meech. You're gonna need all the mobility you can get to dodge out like things like the Slicing Maelstrom, like the Dragon's Rage.
Okay, zoom in on that one now. The double control words.
Oh, that's not as funny.
Okay, never mind. Are we bringing it back?
Oh. Okay, I guess it's funny.
Yeah. All right.
But as you said, Kangas, I'm looking at Meech. 2 items, very strong at the moment, and just in time for, you guessed it, Dragon number 3. That's why you're seeing both teams fight for position here in this mid lane, and that's why you're seeing Maryville hold on to that Rift Herald till we get a little closer to the Dragon spawning.
Maryville is a team. Play for the early game. They often win the early game. This time around, feels more like playing the mid and late game with the comps that they've drafted and the way that they've been approaching this, and they have access to the Dragon Pit for now. They're actually laying a trap. They're onto Zazel. Zyka flashes away. Fake Out still has the ultimate. It lands onto 2 with the Magnet Storm over the top. Even Niles' Slicing Maelstrom is not enough to turn the play. Double kill to Meech. The carry's doing the carrying. And now they're on to Get Back. Who looks for the shovel? And it's nobody! Oh, Feather Storm from Meech keeps him alive as Fake God gets the kill. DSG outperform in the team fight.
That's the perfect fight there for DSG. Niles uses the ult on just the Akali, who doesn't even die. DSG almost wiped Maryville off the map, and that's their Ocean Soul point here, Kangas. One more from the Soul, and we gotta watch this one again. Young, not going for the angles like we expect, but when you have a Malphite and a Rel making space for you, he's just gonna full send it, and look at Niles. Honestly, no value from the Slicing Maelstrom. You need to stun up Meech. He is the big threat here on this team. Get Back gets onto the program, but it's too little too late.
Imagine Niles keeps Maelstrom and forces the Featherstorm out of Meech. That means Meech can no longer position aggressively, and Get Back could actually look for that kind of play.
Yeah.
Ooh, maybe some missed execution there. Or just definitively some missed execution there. MU no longer with a good setup on the Rift. They got to catch these waves now as the Baron has spawned, and DSG are already on this side of the map to set up their vision.
Is now the Baron is what everyone is setting their sights on. One more fight like that, Kangas, and it's going to be easily secured for DSG. But now, the expiring eye gets crushed, and turret, I mean, is basically dead. That turret doesn't exist. So
how much health do you think it has?
I'm going to say 30. Oh, I was going to say 30.
Oh, 35. Okay.
Wow.
Not bad.
Not bad.
It's fine. It could handle like one ranged minion attack.
I'm pretty sure I could spit on the turret and it would go down.
I'm just going to let that one dwell for a minute, as DSG will now reestablish the vision control around the top river. So far, you have not found a way to get that gold lead back into their favor.
This one's a little tough. Only a little tough on the side of Maryville. At the end of the day, you're reaching those crucial item spikes we were hoping for. Get Back. He's had the Nashor's Tooth for a bit. Scary Jerry just got the Navori Quick Blades. Kangas, these are the moments you were hoping for as Maryville. You're only down 1,000 gold. You still have a strong comp. Scales well. Niles, just use your ult on more than one person. That's all I ask. And Maryville, they'll be in a good position.
All right, it's a one-step to-do list for Niles. There's only one box that you need to check.
He also has Flash. It's so playable.
Ooh, okay. All right. Let's see how Niles' reading comprehension is. Hopefully better than my own has been so far today, as the turret is focused here. MU will get it. There we go.
See?
I think they didn't even, they just sneezed on that one.
That's what I mean. It's just so...
Ooh, Odd Orange looks for the fancy play, but now he's out of position. Ambitious, going for that onto a Rakan.
That's Lee Sin for you. You got to try, see what you can get, fish for something. Any pick you get as Maryville opens up that Baron play for you. So that's what you're going to see Odd Orange continuously look for when he has that ultimate up. But it's still DSG who have pressure around this Baron pit and are starting to clear things away, because it's hard for Maryville to face check unless they do it as a full unit here. Because you're still walking into things like Rel, Rakan, Malphite. You don't know where he is because he's been off the map for a bit. This is what Maryville are concerned about.
As we see the teams back onto the Rift. As we talked about where the teams are strong, we're getting to that point, like you were highlighting, that MU are able to now look for these fights. 2 items completed on their carries. DSG, wondering how much pressure they're feeling right now, thinking, do we need to make something happen? How does Rel jungle scale? This is uncharted territory.
It really is.
DSG.
I mean, because you do flat damage to monsters with your abilities, you can go for this tanky build, and you are still going to clear pretty quickly, as Tomio has been able to keep up mostly with Odd Orange in terms of farm and things like that. And he's just going to get tankier and tankier. We talked about a Rel level 16 in our first series. Remember TLC, Fear?
Oh, yeah.
Got into level 16. Tomio's going to get to level 16 a lot sooner than a support would. So this only gets better for him in particular.
I mean, you'd hope. Only 1 ahead of Zeyzal right now.
Yeah, but he's
Has
2
been
ahead of
very
Zyko.
slow on the clear so far in this game. As we now... How would we rate the Rel? Well, let's just have a conversation about it.
Jungle?
Are we impressed by it so far?
I think it's good. I think the deaths Tomio had in the early game are the exact weaknesses I was talking about. Your W slows you a lot. That's why sometimes you see Rels go for the swift boots of swiftness, because your self-slow counts. But ultimately, your ability to dive and make plays is kind of ridiculous. And only going down 4 times, considering everything else DSG have gotten, we call that worth.
All right. Well, let's see if they can make the play happen here as Dragon has spawned. This is Soul for
Teleport.
DSG. We got a teleport coming in from Niles into the mid lane, though.
Soul.
MU will not have their cannon with them, but he's pushing Young away from the fight. It could be a 4v4 fight. Young is going to be here slower than Niles, who can just join from the wave. We're focusing down the Dragon. Tomio's trying to do it. Now the engage comes in. They're on to get back. Can't burst him down, though. The Crown's putting in work. As now Odd Orange and Niles are into the backline. That's the slicing maelstrom you want to see! Onto 4 members, so Scary Jerry can output the damage. DSG only lose 1. Young looks for the hero play, and he gets him. Jerry's down. Young, can he survive? Tomio in there. Meech gets another kill. Young still up, and DSG fight their way through Maryville.
Oh, it was touch and go for a bit, but unfortunately, Niles did not check off the 1 box. He needs to ult Meech. And if Meech's health don't drop, DSG stay on top. And now they're going to collect themselves the Dragon Soul. And now they're going to try and run down this poor little Yordle. Goodbye,
Rocket
Niles.
belts away, but you cannot escape a Malphite walking at you. The seismic shards will do too much. Meech goes godlike with another kill. And I will say, Beatdown, he hit more than 1.
He did.
That was the initial box that we gave for him, but I guess we're adding
you're right,
another
you're
one.
right,
You
you're right.
gotta get Meech.
Yeah, I guess we're moving the goalposts a little bit. So I apologize, but still, Meech is the big damage dealer. And at the end of the day, Meech and Young were able to do a lot in this fight.
We're right back to live. Tomio getting hit by Zyko's dredge line and gets out just fine. You don't have enough damage over the top to take down this very tanky Rel. Oh, that was such a cool replay. I'm sad we had to come out of it early, but these teams are ready to duke it out for Baron.
Right, that's the big objective here, especially with Soul up in 5 minutes. Maryville, they want a way to get an advantage back as soon as they can. And Kangas, I'll tell you right now, Maryville, they gotta be careful. DSG, they're playing for the turn and burn.
Yeah, Young and Fake God are both looking for the fight. This is just the bait. They only get onto the carry. Scary Jerry repositions. Now get the damage in. Get back peeling for everybody. Zyko goes down, but the carries can still do damage. Not with Young on top of them, though. Young takes down Scary Jerry and gets on to get back as well.
Okay.
Both of the damage dealers are dead. Niles is in with Slicing Maelstrom, but he's got no team to back him up. Uses the ultimate defensively under turret, and DSG win another fight.
This is brutal. Oh my god. And they're just gonna keep chasing him? Okay, they aren't. But it's huge. DSG, they find advantage after advantage, and they made the turn perfectly. So at this point, DSG, they're going to go ahead and get the Baron. Only hope here for Maryville is if Odd Orange does some Lee Sin things and manages to steal this buff.
Unlikely to happen, but let's see if he can do it. He's approaching now. Odd Orange versus the World. Jumps onto Young. And entrance knocks him up from Zazel as the Ignite is still on top as well. Odd Orange can't even get close to that Baron pit as now he's getting chased down. A valiant attempt. A decent effort, but DSG seem inevitable in this series. Clean game one, very clean the second half of game number 2 here, and with the Turo Baron buff and a 6,000 gold lead, you gotta imagine they're gonna be looking to end the game here soon.
It's a huge lead they've gotten for themselves, and this one is gonna be tough here for Maryville. They had advantages going for them, but DSG are the ones who are out team fighting them for the most part here. And it gets even harder with how long these fights can go with the Ocean Soul coming through here. And it's as you said, Kangas, we're 3 minutes to Elder. DSG, they have what they need to put this series to bed at 2-0, and that is what we wanted to see. Because DSG were a team we had high expectations for, top 3 in the standings, which is where they are, but we didn't want to see them split series against teams below them like Maryville. So this would be big. They just need to close it out.
And with Wildcard splitting their series earlier, with Team Liquid splitting their series, big momentum swing for DSG in the standings as Young, 1v3 right now. Odd Orange following up. Young's just buying time though. His team's getting other things done. Actually, no, never mind. They're coming to back him up. DSG say, okay, let's take the fight. Maybe they can just close it out afterwards. MU might get out here pretty clean. Zyko for a trade is not the worst thing in the world, but they're actually teleporting in. MU fancy themselves a fight now. 5v4, slicing Maelstrom from Niles gets the Feather Storm out from Meech, goes into the stasis. Get back, trying to buy space from everybody with a shuffle, but does not quite land it. And Odd Orange now, yet again, saying, where did my team go? What went wrong? DSG absorbing all the plays with these tanky champions. And we'll claim Odd Orange eventually here. Oh, wait, he's being tricky with it.
Ah, they got him.
He's being tricky
eventually.
with it. I don't know, do they have the damage? Yeah, they got it. All right, Fake God's got it.
Exactly. Never doubted. 4-1-9 on the Malphite, and DSG looking to move up to 16-10. These are long spawn timers. And when the rest of the team shows up, Kangas, they can put this one down. They can say goodbye to Maryville, giving them their first 0-2 of this weekend.
Fantastic start to week 5 for DSG as they will join the ranks of Wildcard, tied for second place, and have their sights set on Team Liquid as well. DSG roaring to life here in the second round robin, no longer taking all those 1-1s. They'll pick up a few more kills to pat the stats onto Maryville, but they will claim the Nexus and 2-0 to start off week 5.
And a good showing here for Disguised. Looking like the consistency Tomio told me that they were trying to get for is starting to show itself. And yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on DSG for the rest of the weekend, hoping to see if that one continues.
Yeah, I mean, this was a fantastic showing against one of the teams. Maryville's always hard to really judge which version of Maryville will get on the day, if they're going to be the version of Maryville that gets those wins against teams well above them in the standings. This was not it. But DSG versus TLC will happen tomorrow now. And that's going to be a very, or rather, am I looking at the right schedule? Yes, that is happening tomorrow. That is exciting because if they're able to 2-0 that one as well, not only is that like the top team to take down, but then that would put them into first place. There's a lot of standings implications that are happening now as we continue the race to playoffs. It just makes the season that much more exciting. With that said, though, we're going to send it to a short break before Magical is back with a Verizon post-game interview with one of the victorious members. So we'll see you there.
Hello, and welcome back. We're here for the Verizon post-game interview, and I'm joined alongside Disguised mid laner Young. Congratulations on the 2-0. It's good having you in. So always got to ask, how does it feel getting the 2-0?
It feels good. It wasn't that clean, but we won, so that's all that matters in the end. So.
Yeah, speaking of that, it wasn't the cleanest, but I know that Tomio has kind of been talking about like consistency and how you guys are pushing to be more consistent with the game. So when you have a series like this, where especially looking at the early game, both games were kind of wild. What are ways you guys try to find paths back to be a little bit more consistent in each of these games?
Yeah, I mean, even if early goes really bad, like enemies using spells and abilities, and we just keep track of that, and you know, if enemy doesn't have flash, we'll try to like just capitalize on that.
Yeah, and kind of looking at that, let's look at game 2, because you're a Akali, fell behind pretty hard in the early game, but you're able to bounce back pretty hard in that game. There was that one fight where I think you just get a double kill because there's just Kai'Sa decided to jump on you, and you're like, oh, I landed E, I can kill her. So kind of walk me through like those kind of plays. What is the thought process you have going into plays when you're behind like that?
Honestly, at that point in the game, I felt like we could fight, like even if it was even numbered. So we were just talking about like the best way to set up for the fight, and obviously towards the end we should have lost the fight, but like in moments like that, you just play. Like I play a lot of Akali, so it's just like you just play it like mechanically, like you're supposed to.
Yeah, I mean, you are a mid laner we know it very well for the melee sort of assassins in the mid lane that has really gotten your name kind of out there. So looking at you playing this Akali, you've even played the Aurelia recently. How do you feel like you compare to the rest of the league, especially amongst mid laners?
I feel like the meta is not that great for melee champs to begin with, so but I'm like confident enough that I can just pick them and play well. Yeah, I feel like this league is a lot less competitive than last split, so it's definitely like anyone can win. So,
all right,
or more competitive, I guess.
Okay, yes, and I'm kind of like just looking at the mid lane because we have been seeing a couple of promotions. Like APA recently got promoted up to the LCS. Insanity is a player that you played against last split, and he's now getting a lot more time in the LCS. How does that make you as a mid lane player feel? Like, do you feel like now there's more options that you can get up into the LCS because you see these other players getting promoted?
It definitely gives me a lot of confidence and like hope that I can make it, because I did play against these players last split, and I don't really think they're like too much better, or like there's a huge gap. Like they played in LCS and they played fine, so it gives me hope that orgs are giving chances on like native players.
Yeah, and hopefully that means that you get an opportunity here in the future, because you have played, you know, you subbed in a little bit when you were with Golden Guardians playing in the LCS. So do you feel that seeing these players that you have that much more that you can bring to the table compared to a lot of other players?
Yeah, I think I'm one of the only people that can play these melees like really proficiently, and I think my mage play is fine, but honestly, like I'm just glad orgs are giving chances to NA players now.
Yeah, same here. And I kind of want to talk to you because this is a new team you have been slotting in through the summer split, because 3 of the members were part of the Cloud9 Challengers that won in spring, Meech being the other player that was kind of brought in. Now that we've gotten more than halfway through the season and you guys are tied for second place at the moment, how do you feel you guys have kind of grown together as a team? Do you feel like you're going to continue to progress further, or are you feeling like you've hit that stride finally?
I mean, scrims have been going really well. Obviously, today's matches weren't that clean, but I feel like practice is really important, and our practice has been getting better and better each week. So I think we hit our stride, and I'm looking forward to playoffs.
And speaking of playoffs, how do you feel you guys are going to do in playoffs? Are you really confident you're going to go in there and you're going to win?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, scrims are going well. I have 3 out of 5 of the last split winners, so I hope we can do well.
I mean, I think you guys have been definitely upgrading. You've been looking a lot stronger week to week. As even if it was a rough 2-0 that you won today, you kind of showed that how you can come back from these early games where you fall behind. Like looking at game 1, where you guys did fall behind early, but it was a play by Fake God to cancel a TP that kind of got you guys in a position where after that it felt like the win was just kind of gifted over to you because you didn't have to do anything. You just outscaled.
Yeah.
Yeah. So before I let you go, I do want to give you a little bit of time to kind of give any shout outs to any family, friends out there. So anyone you want to shout out?
Shout out Toast. you guys should all subscribe to the Patreon. It's $5, pays our salaries, so just definitely do that. And shout out Meech as well. 300 ping is like insane. So
Oh, I forgot that he's playing on 300 ping still. Man, yeah, he's a good player, isn't he? Well, thank you, Young, for joining us for the interview. It's good having you. Good luck for the future. Congrats on the 2-0, so go celebrate with your team. And as for the rest of us, we are going to toss it to a break. When we come back, we'll get ready for our final series of the day. That's going to be between FlyQuest Challengers and AoE Gold. You won't want to miss it.
The LCS Challengers League is brought to you by Turo, the world's largest car-sharing marketplace. Find your drive.